Welcome to Worship Artistry. I'm Nick.
I'm Jason.
And today we are looking at the Pod Express.
Woo.
I've already done a deep dive into this thing, and Jason was like, hey, man, I really want to be in this video. And I was like, all right. So, Jason,
honestly,
why are you here?
I'm here because I want to play a guitar.
Oh, yeah.
I want to play the new Les Paul.
Yeah, it was a little... The time frames, it lines up. I got the guitar, and he's like, hey, actually, I want to be in that video now.
I really want to try that Pod Express. Let me give that a go.
Yeah, I mean, that guitar sounds great. I mean, playing through this little guy, like, geez.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You took, 5 minutes, 10 minutes maybe to dial in this sound, right?
Oh, not even.
When we were setting up.
Not even.
Here, let's try this. Just start playing. Sure. I'm going to go just through the overdrive real quick. So that's off. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Like that boost, it says boost, but it's a clon.
Really?
Yep. And so at the top end of there, that's where, it's going to be shifting into the new one. We're almost at the top end of the... I think that sounds huge. Yeah. That sounds awesome.
It's massive. I love the way, when I first sat down with it, I'm like, how do I even adjust it? And it's so simple. Because all you do is you have these brackets that kind of show you what's the distance for like, okay, this is the ping pong delay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then you just turn that knob and then you see the lights go up and it's pretty.
It's
very
nice.
Pretty. And it just is very easy to dial in, very usable tones right off the bat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And one thing I liked about the boost, honestly, going back to this, was I liked the sound of that the most out of all of these, how I play guitar.
Sure.
And then I was like, oh, it's a boost. I wonder what kind of clean boost it is. And I looked it up, and it was a clon. And I was like, huh. Well, that makes sense, too, at the same time, because, that's how I use the clon. I use it to boost a lot of things, not to just have overdrive.
Right.
Because, when you do, we're at the top end of it. Play clean real quick.
Okay.
And that's at the top end. Right. That's nice. And it's like when you go to the overdrive one, this guy right here, that's a tube screamer. And I've talked about this, and we'll get into it, but I just want to show you real quick. So I like that sound, but lower.
Yeah.
And that's the thing with this. It's so nice because you get different tones the more you put into it or the less you put into it. Yeah, It does affect the gain structures, but that gives you different tone. And I like that because with the tube screamer, you can go ridiculous and it's very bottom heavy. Let me get back to the tube screamer here. Oh, I'm on distortion. Here we go. So it's thick, right? You're getting everything. Then you just cut it back a little bit. It still has the tone of it and a bit of gain, but it's just not as bassy to me. I like that. And it's really cool. I really enjoy this thing, but this is something you would just show up on a Sunday and be like, all right, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, plug it right in.
Yeah.
Don't have to mess with it too much. It's got presets.
Correct, yeah.
So you can have your things dialed in. I'm actually really upset because I had a girl at my church who was like, hey, I just got an electric guitar. What kind of amp should I get? And I was like, oh, you don't want to spend too much. I was trying to help her, and it was about a week before we got this.
Right, yeah.
And now I'm like, I should have just told her to get that.
Yeah. Before we get going, this is my Gibson Les Paul. It's got the burst bucker humbuckers in it. I really actually enjoyed them. At first I didn't. Coming from the Cremas to these, it's just a little bit more high output, but I really have come to like them a lot. Going through the Pod Express as we've been talking about, I'm just going to show some amp sounds really, really quick. Nothing super in depth with, just give you an idea of what it can do. It can do anything from clean to metal. It does it pretty good, all of them. But let's tune it first. It has a tuner built in. All you need to do is hold down the tap tempo, and then the tuner comes up. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell you what note it is, but hey, as long as you get close, right? Standing over it's much easier, I'm sure. Now we're gonna go through all of the amps from the clean all the way to the lead. As you can probably guess, the lead is pretty heavy, very saturated tones, but they all sound pretty nice, but we're gonna dial in a preset to my preferences and what I like. But just really quick, here's the clean sound, which is based on a Fender Princeton reverb. Moving on to the special, which is a Line 6 litigator. There's no effects on right now. This is just the amps. The chime, which is a matchless DC30 channel 1 clean. Moving on to the dynamic, which is a Ben Adrian cartographer. And you find that in like the Helix. You know, maybe you've heard of it. Now get into some more of like the distortion kind of sides of things. This is the crunch, which is based on the Friedman BE100, the BE/HBE channel. So it sounds nice. So the heavy one is based on the Line 6 Oblivion. Again, maybe you've heard some of these. And then moving on to the last one, lead, which is a PV5150. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty heavy. Sounds really nice, I think. But let's try to dial in a sound that will get some of these effects going, you know, because I'm pretty sure y'all know what an analog type delay is, a digital, a tape, a ping pong. I mean, if you don't, analog it's warmer typically. That doesn't mean it's always warm, but for digital purposes, it usually means it's pretty warm. Moving to digital, it's basically just a exact replication. It's not gonna have any like degradation to it, and that's going to be more tape. You know, we'll have that. We'll have some like wow flutter. And as these work, it's very simple. It's much like all of their amps and pretty much all of their stuff, really, except for like the Helix and HX Stomp and so forth. You know, here, we'll just put it back on the clean, and here's just an analog sound. And as you saw, the light here, it's barely turning green. And that just means I'm dialing in more, right? So if it was going to be all the way, that's as most as it could be. So, but just here's like the analog sound, you know, for what Line 6 offers inside of this, because there is no way to really change the parameters of the delay or like the distortion or mod or reverb. You can just add more or less. So here's analog. Yeah, I mean, it just has like, it just adds everything more. There's more repeats, there's more mix. Yeah, maybe there's some modulation in there too as you turn it up too. That's going to be the same with all of them, you know what I mean? But the ping pong is when it's in stereo, and currently we are in stereo. It's going to go like back and forth kind of. So here's that. You get it. Yeah, it's just, I mean, it works like any other delay. It's tapped in, you know, again, you just have more of the effect or less of the effect. So the reverb's the exact same. Here's the spring. Again, we're going to dial this in to a sound that I like, but just kind of showcasing how this works. It's very, very simple. So barely any, as you can see by the knob here, I've barely put any in there. Actually sounds pretty good. The more you dial it, obviously. Yeah, Very, very cool. Same with mod. Chorus, flanger, phaser, tremolo is what they offer. With the distortion, it's pretty cool actually. I'm saving that for last because I think it's pretty cool because the boost right here, it's not just like a clean boost. I mean, it's based on a Klon Centaur. It's very, very cool. The overdrive is based on a TS-808 tube screamer. And again, this is mono. These are all mono. These mod, delay, and reverb, those are in stereo after the amp here. And you can also change the cabs and the amps, which we'll get to, which that's where the magic really happens in my opinion. But anyway, back to the distortion. So the boost again is a Klon, the overdrive is a tube screamer, the distortion is a DS1, it's Boss, Keeley modded no less, and the fuzz is based on the 73 Electro Harmonix Ram's Head Big Muff Pi. I really enjoy the boost sound. I really like low overdrive kind of stuff. It may not seem like it if you do follow me, but really I don't use that much gain or drive on things. I do stack things to get that. But with this, you do need to be a little bit more creative with it because you don't have that many buttons. But you see here, I do have a JHS Red remote because that's the only switch I have right now. But I do have it wired or currently set up to control the on and off of the overdrive. Let's start dialing in the preset, but I want to choose my cab first. Yes, I did say you can do that, and I'm going to show you. It's easy. It's Alt and Tap. Just push and hold, and then you cycle through with the amps here. You see it's going, and I'm going to click on the lead one because that's the Mesa 412 with the V30s. So each one does, if you don't choose which one you want, it's just going to be the clean. So the Fender is going to be a 110 Fender Princeton reverb. You know what it is. But I like the Fender with going into a 412 Mesa cab. So I like that sound. Now, as you can see here, it says gain, mid, channel volume, and treble, and bass. To get to all of those, that's very easy. Just press the Alt button. So right now, let's set the gain. It's kind of low in my opinion. Since we only have really two options for, overdrive, just either on or off, I like to set the amp a little bit more gainy so that way I can roll it back on my guitar and then I still have three stages almost. And then this thing, it really does work well rolled back. But let's add some more gain to that. Let's just put it about, midnight. Because then we're going to take the channel volume as well, but we're going to crank that all the way up. Okay, with the channel volume all the way up and then the gain turned up to about 6 on the amp, we're going to have to bring back some of the overall volume because we're going to be clipping more than likely. So right here on the side, you got a volume knob and a headphone input, which is super nice. So you can just plug right into this if you don't have a big setup like I do. But yeah, so let's hear it real quick and then we'll adjust the volume. So I'm sorry if it clips. So yeah, the bass sound, now we have the volume, master volume, I guess, that's what you would call it, the output level set. It sounds pretty nice. It's just the amp. Again, no EQ's been done. Yeah, cool. So let's just set the EQ. I typically don't do too much EQing with this because I think if it sounds good, it sounds good. So, but I typically, just do everything right around noon. I'll play it a little bit, do a couple things, and then I'll decide, do I want to pull some bass out? Because that's what I'll typically do, because in a mix, I don't want to be lost. I don't want to be, trying to run over the bass or the keys or anything like that. So I typically do have a little less bass because I'm thinking of the full band already. But let's go ahead and just adjust to see what everything sounds like at noon. All right. Huh, it does sound different, as you can hear. Let's put some more treble. Let's pull some of the lows out and just a little of mids. That sounds really good, I think. It'd be good in the mix. But as you keep dialing in stuff, you can then see and make those minor changes with just pushing the Alt button and then remembering that gain, mid, bass, and treble all can be affected by that Alt button. So getting a little bit further into the weeds here, let's go and find in the manual how you can change the master volume presence on this thing, because it does have a master volume. I typically like to run my master volume cranked, because on these older vintage amps, that's what they like. And so for the Fender Princeton, that's what we're gonna do. And what you need to do is press and hold Alt and tap, and then you will adjust the corresponding knob, and that's going to be the delay for master volume. Let's see what it's at. Yeah, let's just turn that up. So now the master volume's turned all the way up. We might have to make another output level adjustment. Let's see. No, but that sounds so much nicer. It's like pushing it more. That sounds really, really nice. So to recap very quickly, all we've done so far is add channel volume all the way up, master volume all the way up, gains at noon, and then bass is kind of like set, you know, I don't know, maybe at 11, mids are about 11, the treble is maybe 12:30 or 1 o'clock. But yeah, so here's the presence. I don't think it needs much presence, but I'm going to show you kind of what that sounds like as we adjust it. So here it is without presence, or not adjusted presence. There's the presence all the way up. I mean, that sounds all right. It's a little much for me, so let's bring it back a hair. All right, because I do like it a bit more presence. This thing doesn't have compression built in, but you know, with gain, you can kind of do that, because that's kind of like the same thing. But adding that presence to me kind of feels like, sounds like just a little bit of compression. It's not, but it kind of feels like that to me. So this is our bass sound with just the amp. No delay, no reverb, no overdrive, no nothing, just the amp. It's all right. Let's add some reverb. It's not going to be much because we don't have options, but the way that I will work around that is using the presets. But let's just dial in like a sound that I like. I like the hall on the Line 6 stuff, and let's just do a very mild hall. Yeah, that's really nice, but here's what the hall sounds like big. I like it smaller. All right, so this is the hall I like. And then I'll dial in some delay. I really only like to use the ping pong because it just adds a lot of width to it. It just makes the sound so big. And a lot of compliments or comments, I get on like Instagram and Facebook is like, man, that sounds huge. And that's one of like the tricks that I do is in stereo, I just kind of do a dual delay or like a ping pong, something that goes back and forth. And just, it's not usually like super prominent in the mix for how I do it. But this is going to be a little different because I am just a little limited. I mean, for $180, like, what do you expect? This thing's so good. So here it is with some delay. Maybe it's a little much, so let's just dial it back, which is easy to do. That's fine with me. So it's really easy to set up the foot switch to control the delay. All you need to do is go into the global settings again, which you push Alt and the amps button. And then I just set these two, the foot switch 4 and 3. And again, it's in the manual. All you need to do is correlate these things to be green to control delay, because I can't remember which was which, and I only have the one foot switch, so I personally don't care. But then I needed to change where it says chime here. That is considered the third slot in the volume jack, and I needed to make that white. It was blue, so that way it controls the FS3 and FS4 switches, which that is what this is plugged into. So to get out, press the preset buttons. This doesn't work super well, but for the purposes of this video, it will be just fine. So here is with the delay. I have to hit it twice. I don't know why. This is not made for this, but anyway. Now there's no delay. Pretty cool. So now I can control the delay, and now I can control the overdrive. So I have amp sounds of my bass sound, either with delay or no delay. And then I have my amp sound with delay or no delay. And then I can add overdrive. I think this thing's really cool. And then you can do like different cabling for the back here. It has the FS3 and FS4 switch, but you can do like a TRS cable and splitter, whatever. You can do so many different things and configurations with this thing. I think you can add like up to like 3 more switches or whatever that thing can handle. It's so absolutely neat. Like this could replace a full board. You do need other things, or you need to ask yourself, would you want to replace your full board with just this? I think this thing's very good. But I don't think you would want to do that because it is a bit limiting. But again, for $180, the limitations it has is hardly anything. All you need to do to save a preset is just press and hold. And then you choose which preset. So I'm just going to go to the first one. It's going to be white, and I'm going to go to clean here. And then just press this. And now it's saved there. So I've saved this, and now what I want to do is do that again. And I'm going to move up to the second slot, and I'm going to save it there. And so now when I go to my presets, I'm on the second slot. But this is so easy. I love the way they did this. Honestly, before, I was like, oh man, I don't know how this is going to work. But you can go up and you can go down with this. It's very easy. So going up, right? Watch the dial here. And then going down. So we're on our first preset, the very first one that we made. So there's that. Now we're on the second one again, or the second one, which is gonna sound the same, but we're gonna dial in a bigger reverb. So here it is without, it's just exactly what it was. But let's just crank the reverb on the space here all the way up. How's that sound? It's very spacey. So let's go ahead and also turn up the ping pong delay on this to just give it a lot more repeats, very washy. Yeah, that's fine. I like that enough. And then let's go ahead and maybe do some tremolo just to add some movement in there. The tremolo on this is cool because, again, this is in stereo, so it's behind the amp, but it's going to go back and forth. It's very, very subtle because all of the other things that are happening, but I really like that sound. So let's go ahead and save that to this one. And then we have now an ambient preset. So we saved over it. So let's go through the presets really quick. Yeah, so I mean, this did take just a little bit of time just because I'm trying to explain it to you a little bit, but really, if I wasn't talking about it, if I wasn't trying to do anything else with it, this literally took me, with the manual up on my screen, it took me 10 minutes to probably figure this out. I'm not even kidding you. I mean, literally, you could show up to a Sunday service or any gig that you're at with this thing, sound absolutely fantastic. And you're ready to go with hardly anything. Line 6, thank you for doing this. This has been wonderful. But if you have any other questions, comments, or anything, drop them below about this. If you want to go a little bit further with this, just ask us. We've had this for a long time. We do have some very special news about this thing and having it. So let me kick it back over to you, Jason and Nick, in the studio. The other one.
So who is this for?
Anybody with a Les Paul.
Right?
A really nice new Les Paul.
I mean, it does sound, everything we've done with this sounds amazing. I think this is just another tool that, you know, you're going to put in your bag, your toolbox. This is not a Helix killer. This isn't designed for that.
What? But how are we going to get people to click on the video?
Right. But this, in my opinion, is designed for the person who's just learning guitar, who's just wanting to learn effects, who doesn't really know much, or it's designed for the parent who's like, my kid isn't very good, and I like this little headphone out right here.
Dude, even the fact that it's an 1/8" headphone out. I mean,
huge.
You don't even have to go get the
adapter. And it's like, or if I lose the adapter, I can't use it, you know.
I don't know if it's Bluetooth enabled, though.
I don't think this, I mean, I'm sure that'd be like $5 more at least.
Well, there'd be a delay on everything you played, so it wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, right. A little latency. But for $180 US, this thing is so inexpensive and amazing for what it does. And even like without the cost, this thing, in my opinion, could cost double and it would still be as good as it is because the sounds are amazing.
Yeah.
You took 2 minutes to dial it in. And with what I showed you all and what I did at home, it's like, this does so much, and the sounds are very, very usable. Sure, are there preferences? Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But every sound, objectively, I do think you can get a subjective yes out of.
I mean, thinking about it as a worship leader, I'm like, I could put this on a kid's board and say, like, plug in here.
Oh, dude.
And let's go.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's not a whole big learning curve, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And you're able to get like a lot of sounds out of something so little. I love it.
No, it's super great. So I definitely think if you're the first time guitarist, or maybe you're an older guitarist who's only ever had a tube amp and like are afraid of effects, because I know a lot of people, which is crazy to me. They're like, hey, what should I do with the delay? I'm afraid of it. I don't know. Turn it on. It ain't gonna bite you. Like
dangerous.
What are we doing here?
So dangerous.
And so I do know
if you hit wrong notes.
That is dangerous. But like, some people are afraid of effects. And so I think this is a great way to get into some really, really solid effects. Great amps. There's cabinets in here that you can change. All kinds of really good stuff. So definitely go buy it. Sweetwater, Line 6, you know, whatever, Zounds, however you buy your stuff, Guitar Center, it doesn't matter. Go get it. It's excellent.
Well, you could buy it or you could win it. In fact, you could win this one. With all Nick's presets on it already. I mean, that alone is way better than going out and buying one. It's going to break your brain.
Blow your mind.
So good. It's so good.
So good.
But it's also super easy to win it. All you have to do is go to the link in the description. Then you need to go run 17 miles.
That's it.
And then swim 10 miles.
Pray for 20 minutes every 20 minutes.
Yeah, every 20 minutes
every
for sure.
20 minutes.
For 7 days.
Yep.
And once you've done those things, hit the link in that description.
That's it.
And you can have a chance to win this. We are limiting it to U.S. We hate to do that.
We do.
But we also know our international friends sometimes have a hard time
getting it. It's
almost better for them to just buy it themselves.
Honestly.
So we're sorry. It's U.S. only.
Yeah.
So hit that link in the description and win this Pod Express.
That's right.
Or is it Pod Express? I might have put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Emphasis. Sweet thing. So click the link.
Great
down
emphasis.
below. Thank you, brother. If you want to win this, just click the link, follow that, and then you can enter to win. I mean, this thing's absolutely amazing. So hopefully you will be that one lucky winner. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified for when we do release more content like this, which we are
so much more content
doing all the time now.
I feel like we're basically married now.
I mean, my wife has questioned nothing, but she's like, "Why are you not home as much?"
It's fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
So
because we're playing guitars.
we're playing guitars. Have fun. Just
Hanging
leave me
out.
alone.
Hanging out with you guys.
Leave me alone. Do you guys escape your wife or husband? Because you have to. All right. Well, we'll talk to you guys later.
Perfect ending.
Perfect ending.